For our radio audience, we just showed you a clip of season 2 of Unstable, streaming tomorrow on Netflix. And we had Rob Lowe here a couple weeks ago talking about it. And John Owen Lowe is here on the Rich Eisen Show to discuss it right here as well. I would say it's good to see you, but we met a long time ago, and I'm kind of blown away by this moment, to be honest with you.
I'm humbled to be here, and I'll have you know, I wanted to tell this story.
Okay.
We were at a holiday party in Malibu.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, without saying who's there, it's one of those who's who parties. There's a lot of fancy, fun people I think people could be starstruck by. And I remember grabbing my dad and being like, I don't want to curse on the show. Can I, holy, S word.
Yeah.
That's Rich Eisen. He was like, oh, and he knew every night I fell asleep to the NFL Network. Every single night for years. And it was you and Prime and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, Mooch. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Oh my God. This is like legitimately formative years of my life. And so you were who I was the most starstruck by at this party. And then we came over and said hi.
Well, you're cool. You're cool to say that. And I do remember, because I think we were just chopping it up about, because if I'm not mistaken, the holiday party was like New Year's or something like that, right? So the playoffs were hitting, and we were just talking football and
yes, I was
fantasy as well, all
fantasy.
of that business.
I was trying to get tips from you. I remember that.
Yep.
And I was a diehard Peyton Manning fan growing up, so I was following the Colts and then the Broncos, and we were talking about I think like who they were drafting that year. And I used to be in the thick of it. I'm more of a sort of a relaxed sports fan. Back in the day, it was very intense. It consumed a lot of my life and created a lot of anxiety for me when my teams didn't win. And I've since learned to sort of just enjoy the sports.
Well, you're a working, paid professional actor now, John. You know what I mean?
Like,
back in
time for that.
Back then, you were just a kid who just was falling asleep to NFL Network, which I greatly appreciate you choosing.
How sweet does that sound? Right?
It is great. It took me a while to get used to that being a compliment. Like, hey, I fall asleep to you all the time, and that's not usually what you want to hear.
For me, that's the highest compliment I can give. I'm dead serious. That is when I'm at most peace with whatever content I'm consuming. So that is a high compliment.
And by the way, I'm not surprised to hear that you're a Peyton Manning fan, because in the history of this show, before we did this show, starting 10 years ago, we did a podcast version of this show. Oh. And your dad was a guest on that. If you remember, didn't he say that he heard Peyton Manning was leaving the Colts? And that was he got like his 48 hours of sports talk fame, your dad.
Oh, that was a disastrous moment in my household. Peyton Manning was my hero. Still, I still love Peyton.
Why not?
But like when you're a kid, that's, that was my guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know who my dad's, source was or whatever it was. He my dad always likes to think he's in the middle of everything always. Like even with politics or sports, he's got sources everywhere. I have no idea who they are. They're probably not real. And he tweeted like hearing from my source that like Peyton might be done here. Mind you, he was not done. He won another Super Bowl after that, went to 2. And I think think there's a story of somewhere of Peyton being like, I didn't think Soda Pop Curtis would announce my retirement.
I remember that. Yeah. That's right, because he said Manning was going to announce his retirement with the neck.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what it was, right?
I found the tweet.
Oh, okay.
January 18th, 2012.
Oof.
Wow.
Hearing my fave, number 18, Peyton Manning will not return to NFL. Wow. #Colts.
I think my favorite part is #Colts. Like a man that does not really know how to use the internet.
Well, again, this was also 2012, man.
2012.
That's a dozen years ago.
It's a long time. And Peyton had a very long career after that, too.
Did.
So, so my dad was not.
Yes, he did. So do you still play fantasy, or you don't do that anymore?
I still play fantasy. Okay. I am in a more relaxed league than I used to be. I'm actually in a league with some writers that I've worked with, and I like doing it with other entertainment folks because they seem to have the same level of knowledge that I have and the same, time and access to things. I haven't liked being in leagues where people have hours to study draft boards. I like the ones where you pop in and you're like, oh, my buddy's auto drafting this year. That's good to know. Yes. The whole draft. That's nice for me. I'm not going to be last.
You like that sort of stuff,
I love that. I want a little leg up, Yeah, I don't want to get my butt kicked every year.
But it's all luck. You know what I mean?
It is luck, right?
Well, certainly I like to say that because everybody assumes any fantasy league that I'm in, I should be winning and dominating.
Correct.
And I like to point out there's luck involved.
Okay, good. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I have won. I've been playing fantasy football for probably over 10 years, and I think I've won 3 or 4 times.
Damn,
so
man.
It feels nice. Yeah.
How many times have you won over there?
Well, I went back to back in my main league, and it's the only 2 times I've ever won in 25 years.
How long ago was that?
It was 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, TJ? Have you ever won?
Three out of 25 years.
Oh, well.
I've won once in the league that I want to win in the worst way, and it's coming up on 10 years.
Oh, no.
And it's,
No.
dude,
So
it's bad. It's my poker league, so it's once a week I see these guys, and the amount of crap that I get, it is infuriating.
Do you have anything you have to do if you come in dead last?
No, we don't. We don't have one of those. Do you?
We used to. We used to. At one point, we humored doing the 24 hours in a fast food restaurant one that I've seen online.
Yes.
But we're all too vain for that. Fortunately, again, entertainment folks, we're like, we can't do that. That's, I gotta stay in shape.
I hear you. I got you. John Owen Lowe here on the Rich Eisen Show. Unstable. Season 2 is going to start streaming tomorrow on Netflix. You can watch all of season 1 right now. When did you know you wanted to be an actor? Literally all along, or no? Not really?
No, quite the opposite, honestly. I grew up, I thought I wanted to be a scientist for a long time. I worked my summers in high school in a stem cell biology research lab at UCSF.
Say what the what?
Yeah, I know. I literally worked in molecular biology, culturing stem cells for cancer research. And that's what I thought I wanted to do. And then when I went to Stanford, I thought I was going to study science there and pivoted at some point because I was, I had loved writing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be, truthfully, I think I was discouraged by the idea of following in my dad's footsteps. That kind of spooked me. Mm-hmm. And then I thought to myself, well, writing is different enough. And so I started to explore a career in that and was writing before I was acting. And then sort of the acting came too. And now all of a sudden now I'm on a show with my dad. So I've not done a good job.
But you've totally gone in that direction, huh?
Yeah. I love it. Look, I think, I don't know if I could do it just acting, but I love the sort of diversity of expression I get through writing. I write on the show. I'm executive producer on it, so I get to help behind the scenes in that regard. And and acting, really, they all scratch different itches. So I feel very fortunate.
Do you miss the science?
I do.
By the way, I've never asked a guest that.
Do I miss the science?
You're the first one in 10 years.
You
I've
know
asked
what?
that question.
I like coming here for first.
Thank you, sir.
I do miss the science at times. I miss feeling. Look. The job of acting and writing and creating content is so fun and so special, and of course it matters, but there's a different type of mattering when you're in a lab, trying to break cancer research.
Yeah.
That has a different potency.
Yes.
So I do miss that and feeling, that feeling when you're around it. But the show takes place in a lab, so it's close enough.
There you go. That's you're on the periphery of the outskirts
that's right.
of the galaxy.
It's
of it.
basically the same thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. John Owen Lowe here. Now, listen, I don't normally ask questions like the one I'm about to ask you, but your dad insisted that I ask you this question. And instead of me asking this question, I'm going to replay your father sitting in that chair a couple weeks ago, imploring me to ask you this question.
I have a feeling I know what the question is.
All right, roll it, please. You got John Owen here in a couple of weeks.
You got to give my son a lot of... Do a gotcha interview with him, old school.
Like what do you mean?
Like you sit in, and then you just hammer him with tough questions.
Like what?
I don't know. We should think of stuff.
I mean, here's the thing: is like,
I know. Ask him about his dating life.
Oh, come on!
Because
I never ask guests
you have
about
to because
ever.
he won't tell me. How about this? Say your dad asked me.
Yes.
To ask you about your dating life and watch him melt.
You want this to happen?
Wait, you want the lowdown or something? Like he's
this
not
is- you know
sharing
what?
enough
He
with
didn't
you?
share anything with me about that.
Shameful.
And the other thing is, we got to build him up. I mean, to be a good guest, you have to learn trial by error.
Okay, good, nice. Build him up by breaking him down.
That's right.
There you go.
That was sweet. You can tell my dad that. Thank you. Yeah, give it up.
Oh,
for
tell him yourself. There's a
Rob.
microphone in front of you.
Yeah, Rob. First of all, he is not invited into the conversation about my dating life. That he will be when I deem that appropriate. But I have boundaries through many years of therapy. And so my family, look, I love my dad so much. He's like one of my best friends, but he sort of caps out at best friend. When you get into the dad territory, that's when I go to my mom. My mom is the parent. My dad is friend. And I like to tell him this. I tell him this to his face, but I will say it live with you.
Yes.
That he, I believe that sort of around the age when you get very famous, if you're young, it sort of stunts your emotional growth. So I believe that my dad is sort of forever 18 years old. And I truly, like psychologically, I think this may be a valid theory. And so I think he's stunted forever at 18. So he's got the EQ of an 18-year-old. So makes sense that he'd come on a talk show and try to get personal information about his son's dating life.
But he's also trying to hone you into a bona fide, like your father, A+++ talk show guest. He's trying to hone your skill set. That's what he's saying there.
That's a very sweet perspective on what you just heard. I think that's nice. But
I picked up on that part at the end to kind of cover. So are you saying you inform your mom about your dating life, but not your dad?
No,
not to split, the household here.
Yeah,
but
now you are asking the hard-hitting questions. You actually listen to him, man. No. I mean, if I need sort of emotional advice, I'm going to mom. If I'm looking for a good time or hang, I'm going to dad. But anything dating oriented, they both know that, they're invited into that conversation when I decide.
So pound sand is the hashtag of this video.
Sand, baby.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay, very good. All right. So you didn't melt.
No.
I mean, like, you didn't melt.
No. I've had enough therapy paid for by them that I won't be melting. No, he knows better than that.
Fantastic. All right. So what's the first movie of your dad's that you ever watched?
So, this is a contentious topic for us because I'm not super familiar with his entire filmography, which is incredibly insulting to him.
Okay.
But the first one I ever watched was probably Austin Powers 2.
Okay.
Right? Which I'm a fan of.
Of course.
Not, I'm willing to give him some props. I think.
So that you're not going 80s. You didn't see an 80s.
So this is why he's upset. I think he has a particular fondness of that sort of St. Elmo's Fire, About Last Night. I know there's other ones.
Outsiders.
I've seen The Outsiders, but that is mandatory viewing in middle school in most schools.
Yes.
So
reading the book as well.
And reading the book, which let me tell you something is not fun when you are in whatever 7th grade and you read the book and like it's kind of the girls seem to be like have a crush on these like greaser type people. And then you watch the movie and my dad's shirtless in it. And like, I do remember just being like, this isn't a normal thing kids have to go through.
Yes.
Other girls being like,
as a son of a French teacher, I can confirm that.
yes. It was,
John.
Yeah, you can. This is why I'm in the chair. This is why I'm here. It's because I've lived this enough trauma to be funny.
So again, first was Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
It's interesting.
Yeah, okay. Austin Powers. Funny comedies. That's sort of what it was. And then, I have not. The ones he's mad about is I haven't seen About Last Night, St. Elmo's Fire, or The West Wing. He's very mad about that.
You haven't seen an episode of The West Wing either, huh?
I haven't. It's hard for me to watch stuff that he's in. It takes me out of the reality of what I'm watching. It's just my dad on screen.
I get it.
So no Young Blood, no Illegally Yours, nothing. No, Illegally. I used
can't
to
even
love
get to
those
the
movies, man.
Yeah, Youngblood is hockey, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I have to watch. I gotta watch that one.
Your pops and Patrick Swayze with hockey.
Ooh, Patrick Swayze's cool. Maybe I'll just fast forward the Rob stuff. I could do that. Probably. Yeah.
Get to the real stuff.
Just get to Swayze.
Sure, get to Swayze.
Sure.
And now you're in a very funny, successful show of your own. Of course, obviously your dad's in it as well, and you're great in it, brother. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's honestly so fun to do a show with him. It's like I know that I'll have that forever, and it's very sweet, and I love it.
Well, and I'm happy to say I fell asleep to season 1 every night.
My man, fall asleep to my show, please. Our show. both of our shows.
And I have to say again, for those who just tuned in, I'm not falling asleep because of his show. He said that, all right, he used to fall asleep to.
That's how you
By the way,
take offense to that.
NFL Game Day highlights, me, Mooch, and Prime, was truly one of my favorite things to do. We loved doing that show together.
That was legitimately I'm telling you, a formative show for me.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love hearing that. I can't wait to tell those guys that too, because
Please.
we truly loved doing it the same way.
Run it back.
Dion, I mean, Mooch and I are ready to do it. I think Dion's kind of, he's coaching.
A little busy.
Dion seems a bit busy, yeah.
He's coaching.
Yeah. I've been following that. That's fun to follow. Yeah.
For sure. But we loved doing that. I mean, we had so much fun. Remember the kicker, Rob Baronis. We always used to sing My Sharona whenever he made a kick. The one time when, all right, I'll just tell this story.
Please.
Do you remember Najee Davenport, the running back?
Yeah.
Okay. He was good at his job and then got in trouble because he broke into the house of, allegedly, or
I think it's allegedly.
Is it, or whatever?
It's allegedly.
Broke into an individual's house with whom he had an issue with, and went potty in the closet.
Well, you got to put it in John Owen terms. He went number 2.
Okay, very good. Nicely
I
done.
like that. That was quick.
He went number 2.
Okay.
So whenever he would say catch a pass out of the backfield, we called it a dump pass. And but the ultimate was when we got a highlight and the team that he was playing for went for the 2-point conversion, and they went for 2 with Najee. That basically ended the highlight and any of us being able to say 3 words together on the spot.
Oh my
So
God.
much giggling.
We were like children, like little kids.
But it translated. It was there was an authenticity of that show of you guys that
Thanks,
was
man.
like really, really. It was a great watch. It reminded me of like TNT, the basketball, Shaq.
Inside the NBA,
Yeah,
that
inside
is the
NBA.
highest compliment you
That's
can
what
pay.
it reminded me of, honestly. I think around the time, maybe before they were doing it.
No.
They've been doing it
We
for a long
came
time.
well after. They were already
In
quite
my
established. Attaboy.
It's you guys first.
Thank you. See, you are a great guest. Your dad doesn't know what the hell
He doesn't
he's
know what he's talking about.
You
About a
don't need
damn
any
thing.
honing. You don't need a hone to do a damn thing.
Thank you,
And
sir.
again, this is pretty cool, man. From where we first met and here we are now, you doing what you're doing and being a guest here, it's pretty cool.
Isn't that surreal? It's really crazy.
Life
for
is
me.
amazing, sir. At Johnny Lowe on Instagram. Check out Unstable, all of season 1 right now. And as of tomorrow, season 2 will be available for streaming. Great to see you, brother.
So fun.
Anytime. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.